As one woman once said, men will leave you in the middle of a desert without water. She knew what she was talking about. Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. This is a new channel and it is going to contain story time because let me tell you, baby girl, my life has been a roller coaster up to the point where we are today. So since I have no friends, or I do have, but they're kind of judgy, I am out here to share with you my story from literally everything, my life, my relationships, my breakups and makeups and all that, and where I am at right now in life. It will come at a later date. Okay? So let's get into this. I'm very sorry if you hear background noise. Fortunately, it's during the festive season, and literally everyone is doing construction right now. And also, I don't know whether there's a couple arguing on the background or they're just talking, but I'm definitely sure you'll hear some exchanges in the video. So I wanted to use natural lights. I say, come what may, I have to upload the first video. Do you know how psychotic, narcissistic? We do lie once in a while. I have lied at some point to get myself out of trouble. But do you know how much of a sociopath, a psychopath you have to be? Like how mental you have to be for you to create illness, for you to get out of a relationship. Do you guys realize how psychotic that is? Withdrawn from real life, and how you have to be really a psychopath for you to decide to lie. You have to be extremely on a different level of no emotions at all for you to decide to do that. And that brings us to my first story time of the year. Yeah. In high school, I think I was in Form 4 and had separated from my then on and off boyfriend. And I decided, like, I don't want to go back to this guy. So let me get myself into another relationship. I think I had taken like 3 months without having like a relationship or anything of that sort. We actually met during the Form 4 national exam. It was such a coincidence. I don't know what he was doing with the phone. He told me that he was sent back home when it was just a week for them to start their national exam, which to me kind of seemed weird, but you don't know what someone is going through. After that, it took some time for us to get into a relationship, and the relationship went on for I think 3 months. And then out of nowhere, he calls me one night and tells me, I was in a day school. He calls me and tells me like, oh, my dad has passed. And I'm like, I didn't know you have a dad, because he had introduced me to a couple of his family, and he could not talk about his dad, which to me was like an okay thing, because I also don't talk about my dad because he's not in my life. So when someone doesn't want to talk about their family, I go like, maybe they're also facing the same problem, so it's better not to just bring it up. I was sympathetic with his situation because this is something that no one always dream of, no one always think about it. We know that we will pass on someday, but we really do not know when the time is coming. I'm putting it wrongly. He tells me that his dad has died with cancer. If I remember correctly, it was throat cancer. I really don't know. I've forgotten. It's many years ago, and he really did kind of piss me off that anything that had to do with him, I just had to forget. I had a favorite auntie who loved me so much. So I'm in high school, so I'm not allowed to go anywhere. I'm not allowed to go these long distances, especially because I'm still a student and I need permission to leave home. So I connive with my aunt, and she says she'll cover up for me. And I go to the funeral. The funeral, it was not a big funeral as the ones that always happens, because Africans' funerals are really huge, especially my tribe. They're really huge, and they take a maximum of 2 weeks for them to just complete a funeral. Like, it takes 2 weeks. I go to the funeral, we just see each other and say hi, and that was it. We didn't talk much after that. And I was there with his close family members that he had introduced me to, and they really liked me. That was weird. After the funeral, he went MIA, and I was like, it's okay, it's all right. Everyone goes through a grief differently. Other people shut down, other people look for people to lean on. Well, I took it like maybe his form of grief, or the way he grieves, is by shutting people out. And I was okay with that. I gave him time to grieve, I gave him time to gather himself, whatever it is that he needs to do after the funeral, whether going after the will and all that, because he's a man, so and I think he's the eldest, so he has to work out these things and find a way to like cater for the siblings. I was an understanding girlfriend pro max, so I was really understanding. Oh Jesus Christ, what happened to me? So he one time called me after all this happened. He went in my ear for like 2 months, and I went on with my life, though didn't get into any relationship, because at that time, out of sight, out of mind for most people, and definitely that was for me. So whether after all that he got into a relationship, I wouldn't have felt like he cheated on me or he did. No. Now what he did after going MIA was what just made me go like, bro, you have to be joking, right? You're kidding, right? There's something not adding up. He calls me, and we go out like a date, and everything was just okay. I think we spent like 5-6 hours together, like the whole afternoon together, and I went back home at 8. I think if it's not 8, it's 8:30, because my mom was really pissed. And then the next day, I get a message, and I look at it, and I take a second look at it, and I take a third look at it, and I'm like, maybe I'm dreaming. Maybe you know when you see a text and you're like, what? No. Someone is calling me. Someone is pulling my legs. So no. That was my whole reaction. So I went out and sat and called my aunt and told her, like, look, there's a text that has come in. Would you mind checking this for me? Because it seems like someone is pulling my legs. And my aunt is like, what stupid, sick son of a bee would do this? And I'm like, is it real? And she tells me, like, yeah, the message is real. What do you think? And I'm like, I don't know what I think. Because we talked yesterday. He was okay. He was happy. He wanted to get this moving. He texted me, and the text goes like this. I'm sorry, I have to tell you this. My father died of cancer. And cancer genes are so ripe in my family. And I wouldn't want you to go through the pain that my family has gone through. And since my family is ripe with cancer genes, I think I might have cancer. It is not yet proven, but I have the signs of having cancer. And I'm like, okay. I'm the understanding girlfriend pro max. What do you mean? And I text him like, but we can fight through this. And he asked me, do you see where my father ended up in? I'm like, yeah, he died. That is where cancer patients go to. which is not wrong. I've lost friends to cancer, like most of it. I've lost my friends to leukemia. So when he said, do you see, I looked at it and I'm like, but he's correct, but these people need love. Why would he choose to isolate himself from me to begin with? I've seen him in his worst times, I've seen him in his lowest time. Why would he choose this, especially at this time? It doesn't really make sense. So I said, it's okay. If that is your decision, I'll let you go. Okay, I'm not going to force it, because for you, you're an adult. For you to decide this, you've really sat down and thought about it. And he tells me, yes, I have thought about it. And I asked, like, why didn't you tell me yesterday? And he goes like, oh, I just wanted to spend the last time with you. I didn't want to break your heart. And I'm like, what are you doing now? Like, it's literally the opposite of whatever it is that you're saying. I'm like, it's okay, no problem. Now let me give you a little bit of context of what was happening. So I was in high school and he was done with high school. So he was supposed to go to university, and the university is quite a prestigious university, and he was sponsored by government. So it means that he was a really bright student for him to be sponsored by the government. Like, he was the first people to receive like the university letter, and he was going to the university. Now it means that me being in high school and him going to the university, we are not of the same level. Like, he's way here and I'm here. Like, that is the gap. So he can't go to the university and still have me in his life. That would be lowering himself down. So he can't lower himself, like he can't lower his ego when he goes there and meet freshers, get into a relationship, then come back and still see my face. It won't make sense to him. It won't make sense to what he believes in as classism, as levels, because to be honest, we were in different levels. Is when I was finishing Form 4, and in fact, is when I was going to Form 4. And here he is, he's out of high school. He has like gotten a scholarship to a prestigious school, like he has gotten government scholarship. He's going to a prestigious university school. I am still in high school. I don't know whether I'll go to university at the end of it all. Like, we really don't know my future, but his future is already planned out. That was my conclusion. I don't know, I don't know about what he thought, but that was my conclusion. And that was also my aunt's conclusion. Like, you know what, forget about this guy. He's seeing that he's going to the university and you're still in high school, so you all are not in the same level, which was great. But I would have loved it if this guy told me, like, listen, I want you to just listen. I'm going to the university and you're still in high school. So let's make this easier for me and for you. I don't think we should continue with this relationship because our class is different. Our levels have changed. I'm that person in whom, if you tell me your mind, especially when it's something that I see honestly would affect me, he would have gone there, gotten himself a girlfriend, and then I be calling every night to know how he is, or every single day to know how he is. He won't pick my calls, and that would upset me. So I would have loved it, and I would have really understood where he's coming from when he would have just told me, like, you know what, I don't think we can do this. Our class is different. I'm going to start a new life, and yada yada yada. That is so much understandable. But to fake cancer, because the dude is alive, it is like how many years, 10 years down the line, the dude is still alive, very healthy, even healthier than how he was before. What was that all about? But all in all, I'm glad, despite the fact that this happened, nothing really came out of it. It was a little minor heartbreak that I got over like in a week after he left, because I had consoled myself that it's all right. He has cancer. I want to die alone. It's all right. Let me move on with my life. After all, I have a very long life to live. What I just can't get over is him faking cancer. Cancer of all things. Can't he fake maybe like he has impregnated someone else and want to be with the girl? A lot of people suffer with cancer, and those close to me who I've seen suffer from cancer, they haven't made it. They're 6 feet. That includes his own father. So for him to go to that direction, especially someone who has been a victim to cancer, that really didn't sit well with me, and it still doesn't sit well with me. And did I mention he came back like after I was done with my university? He came back to ask like, how can we still get into a relationship? You know, I was not thinking straight at that time, blah 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 blah. Dude. You see this girl glowing, so you want to weeping, Abby? You know they work like that, dude. You know they work like that. Anyway, guys, that was a short story of how someone faked cancer to break up with me, which still shocks me to this day. Like, look at me. Am I that bad? Anyway, that is it for today, and I hope I'm going to make more of these videos. Otherwise, that was my time. Bye.